Money Watch.
Whether you're buying a house or a car or looking to rent or even set up service with a utility company, you are affected by your credit score. Of course, in the past few years, a lot of people's scores have taken a big hit. John Adams is with us this morning to break down what that score means and how we can improve it. Really important these days for a lot of folks, John.
More so than ever before, Gervier. People are relying on their credit score for approval. It's a three-digit number between 550 and 850.
What's the best? Obviously 850?
850 is the best, and on one of the scores it could be 900. I've never seen one that high, but it's basically a reflection of how you handle your credit experience, and that's exactly what credit grantors are looking for, is somebody who's been responsible in the past.
In terms of, let's say, purchasing a home, renting, buying a car, all those types of things, how important is that credit score?
It's critically important on two levels. First, if your score is below 620, you're probably not going to get a mortgage loan, period. And above that level, the interest rate that you pay and the terms that you're offered will be dictated to some extent by your credit score. So if you can get to 720 or above, you'll be offered the best mortgage money available.
You know, in the last several years with foreclosures, short sales, all the other things that have happened in our economy, I think a lot of people's credit scores have taken a big old hit.
The national average has dropped almost 50 points just in the last 2 or 3 years, and that's just a reflection of where we are in our economy.
Let's say that somebody out there is in that situation. Run down for us the things that we can do to boost that credit score.
There are three main things that are so critically important. I'm going to lump them up front. And the first is, obviously, pay your monthly bill on time. That's what the credit grantor is looking for. They feel that how you've handled things in the past is how you're going to handle things in the future. So make sure you pay on time, never late, because that really can hurt you. Number two, and this one's easy, keep your accounts open. The longevity of your accounts accounts for about 15%. The first one, paying on time, is 35%. So all of a sudden, you're at 50% of your score. My advice, never close an account. Even if you're unhappy with the merchant, just take the balance to zero and leave it there. Number three, don't overuse your credit. And by that, I mean if you've got a available balance of $10,000, try to keep your monthly balance below $2,500. And that's that 25% figure says you've got plenty of credit left. You're not living off that credit card. That's what scares these credit grantors, is that you may have had a turn for the worse, and you're using that credit card to survive.
And so they look at all those things.
Exactly. That accounts for 30%. So all of a sudden, we are at 80% of your credit score with just those three items, but I've got a couple more.
Okay, so you've got some things that we can do that may be tips that we don't normally think of.
These are things that people often overlook, Gervier. The first is, take it easy on new credit requests. You know, over the holidays, a lot of times you go in the mall and they say 20% off if you fill out a new credit card application. Well, the problem with that is every time you fill out an application, that generates an inquiry. And that inquiry, it'll knock down your score 1 or 2 points. That's very temporary. But too many inquiries within a short period of time leads them to believe that you may be in trouble financially. And they don't like it. And that really can hurt your score. Now, that's only 10%, but nonetheless, it's something we don't often think about. And then finally, try to maintain what they call a healthy mix of credit types. In other words, a mortgage, credit cards, installment loans, and maybe department stores. That indicates that you're using credit wisely and not relying too heavily on that credit to live your life.
Oh, these are great tips. And I think one of the big things, too, is to remember that bumping that score isn't going to happen overnight.
No, it takes time, but here's the wonderful news. Your credit score is more heavily weighted toward what's happening in your life right now than what has happened in the past. And the farther we get away from unpleasant incidents, the less they matter.
Great advice, John. Thanks. Appreciate it. We've got more information on John's advice on myfoxatlanta.com under the Good Day Atlanta tab. We're also going to have a link to his website, money99.com. It is time for us to head back over to Jeff to find out about the weather that